Hello my friends, welcome to my Debbie Reed at Cards03 YouTube channel. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Kingston, Idaho, and today I'm going to show you an adorable card that I made using the Scenic Adventure Bundle. The only stamping I did on this card was the inside where I stamped the trees. This is the card, and then this little tent does not come with the set. It's something that I just happen to have, but I am going to show you how I made it with the tent. But this set is, this card is actually all dies. So let me show you what you need to make this. And the stamp set that I used for my card, I used the happy birthday, and I used the inside sentiment, sending you smiles for every moment of your special day. And so the items that you would need to make this card, you would need the Thoughtful Journey Designer Series paper. And then I'm using a basic white for the inside. And I forgot I also need one for the front of the card. And then there's early espresso card base. And then you're going to need a crumb cake. I already cut all the pieces for this card. So you're going to need a crumb cake mountain. You're going to need a shaded spruce for these trees, pool party for the water, garden green for the shrub and the grass. Then you're going to use basic gray, a daffodil delight and pecan pie, and then you're going to use mossy meadow, old olive, and another mossy meadow for the trees. And let me show you how I made this adorable little card. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your, and I've already stamped on this one, so, and it's not going to matter. You're going to use your 4 by 5 1/4 basic white, and all the sizes of everything will be in the link below, and everything that I've used that I'm not saying on the video. So the first thing we're going to do, take the card base out of the way. We're going to cut a piece of the top of this half of the paper. Everything's going to get it cut at 4 by whatever, and like I said, I will have everything in the link below. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut your little sky, and then we're going to glue that onto the basic white. And the reason I'm doing that is if you have to trim anything, or just to make sure everything stays in alignment. And this is super simple, so just want to make sure that this is, like I said, in alignment. You want to make sure everything's on the parameter of what's going on the card. And, okay, the video struggle. Okay, there we go. And I am going to trim this one, maybe. I can see it's a little off, but we'll keep going. So then you're going to take your mountain in your crumb cake. You're going to cut the mountain. Let me show you all the dies. Okay, these are all, whoops, sorry for the calamity. These are all the dies we're using. This is the large mountain. This is the gray mountain, the green shrubbery, the trees I cut twice, and the little one, the flame, the wood for the campfire, and then this bundle of trees. This is such an adorable set. I just can't tell you. So cutting the mountain, that's this piece. You're going to run that through your die cut and emboss machine. And then I took a little bit of crumb cake, and I just sponged a little bit of the crumb cake on top of the crumb cake just to give it a little more dimension. So you're going to take that and you're going to glue this on here. I'm not gluing it yet because I want to show you all the pieces. You kind of lay it all out first to see if you need to raise anything up or not. So this is the gray, and then you're going to have your trees, and this is going to go across this. Then I took, excuse me, I took a pool party. This is actually from the Otterly Amazing paper pack. I'm using the water side of that, and I ran the water through there to get this look. So we're going to put, and then you're going to take the little piece of paper and you're going to just kind of cut a little top of the water Just kind of shape it so it looks like the water is flowing. Then you're going to add your green piece. So this tells me that I would like to move this up a tiny bit, and I want the water to come up a tiny bit. So approximately there will be where I'm going to glue everything down. So we'll go ahead and glue our little mountain down. This is going to go behind the crumb cake. So like that. Then we're going to glue this one down. And just kind of in between where these creases are. This is so cute. I love this set. And this will go right here. And we're staying on the sides of the card as best we can. Like I said, we can always trim it. So that's going to go there. Then we're going to put our trees, and they're going to go about right there. So put those down. And I don't worry about the tops of this because I like them kind of popping up looking natural anyway. So those will go right there. And then we're going to add the water and see how far I can go with this. So the water's going to get right there. So the hardest part to this is just doing the die cutting, which is not hard. It's just, you know, gonna just spend a little extra time doing it, but not a big deal. Okay, and then I'm gonna make sure I can move this up a tiny bit more, so I'm going to. And make sure the edges are straight. So depending on how you cut the ridge is going to be if they're straight or not. Then you're going to put this piece on, and I'm not worried if things aren't really fully in alignment on the sides because I am going to put a frame over this. So then we have right there. Okay, now I can see I do have to do some trimming. So I'm going to take my scissors and just cut where I have some overhang. This one, like I said, I didn't really have to worry about cutting this, but I do see a little bit of overhang, so we'll just trim it. And then on this side, and clean up my little mess, throw that in my trash. Now we're going to take, what I did is I took the largest frame from the Deckle die and I put it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 early espresso, ran it through the Big Shot or the embossed cut and die machine, and we're going to just put this on the face of the card. So this is where you can now take your card and you can lay this on your card base, line this up where you want it. So we're going to glue this down and put this evenly spaced on the early espresso. That looks good to me. Can come up a teeny tiny. Okay, and then we're going to take the frame. I'm going to add glue to the top of my card, go down the sides and across the bottom and across this side. Okay, then I'm going to add the frame, and it's going to sit flush with the card edge. I should have probably glued the frame, but that's okay. I can make this work. So we're going to go all the way along this edge and make sure it's laying on here even on all the edges. Give that a nice little press. This kind of just finishes off those rough edges of all the layers. And then we're going to take, I'm sorry for the bouncing camera. Okay, then we're going to take our trees, and I'm going to just tuck these under here. And it's going to hang, this one's going to need a little trimming. Hold on. So we're going to tuck this under here. Let me grab my little pick tool just to help this slide in there. I'm going to have this overhang on this edge so I can see. I'm going to have that right there. Put some glue down the center of both of the trees. Put that right back over there. Okay. Then I'm going to take this other one. I can see I didn't pop these pieces out, so I'll do that before they stick. Okay. And then I'm going to pop these little pieces out because I didn't do that ahead of time. And we're going to glue this to this side, just like that. Glue that same thing right down the middle of both of the trees. And you don't need a lot of glue. Once again, coming off to this edge a little bit. I want them just to kind of overhang on this little border frame that I did. Okay, then I'm going to take the other little tree and I'm going to add it to this side. And so you're still seeing the water. I want to come over this way. I don't really want to see this trunk of this tree so much. So now you're still seeing that water go through the back of the trees, which I like that look. Then I took the little campfire flame and the little wood pile. I cut the wood in pecan pie. So on my original card, I actually did it where the pile of wood is on the top. This time I'm doing it the reverse. I'm putting the fire on top of the logs. So whatever way you like it. I think I like this one, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to pop a little teeny tiny mini dimensional on this back side of this little flame. And I always have minis. Now I can't find them. Here we go. Just one little dot on the back. One little dimensional. And peel these off. Okay, we're going to put that right there. And this is going to go over here. And then I ended up using another set and I colored a little tent and it's going to go right here. So I'm going to glue that on the card. And when you use your alcohol markers, it does bleed through. So keep in mind if you do any alcohol marker coloring. And this is going to go right here. And look how cute this little card is just using all these dies. Then what I did is I took a little piece of scrap paper. And what did I do with this? All right, let me grab another. I'm going to grab a tiny piece of scrap paper, some Memento ink. I'm going to stamp the happy birthday. And then I'm going to fussy cut that out. And the happy birthday, I told you the sentiments for those are from the very best occasions. The happy birthday and sending you smiles for every moment of your special day. Jeez, my goodness. Okay, then after stamping this sentiment, I'm going to just cut it out. And then we're going to add this to the top of the card. I didn't want a big, huge sentiment on here because there's a lot happening on this card already. So So I'm going to just put this, it could go over here. I might do this on this side this time. The other one I put on the other side, so I'll show you the two. I'll just switch it up a bit. This one's gonna go over here. Okay, so there's one on this side and there's one on the left side, and the inside of this one, I just used a piece from the tent set that I had and put a little lantern. But on this card, and I did it already ahead of time just to have things go quickly, stamped a little sentiment, and I stamped the 3 little trees just so you can see what stamping looks like with this set, because the whole front of the card was a die. And there you have it. Just stamped little trees in the corner, and it just all kind of ties together. Hope you like the card. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe and click the bell if you want to be notified of more videos. And in the meantime, go make something uniquely yours. And thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.